There's a lot of celebration going on in the media today, including at the National Journal. What's the National Journal? Good question. Rebecca Kaplan writes about 400,000 dreamers. Ugh, just the way we propagandize to ourselves. These are illegal alien children. And you know what? They're not all children. Some of them are in their 30s. About 400,000 dreamers have been allowed to stay in the United States in the years since the Obama administration began accepting applications for young illegal aliens to defer deportation proceedings and receive work permits, according to information compiled by blah, blah, blah. And for many of you, your Republican National Committee today endorsed a DREAM Act. Who the hell are these people at the Republican National Committee? First brought up, last week or 10 days ago by the communications director? But I suspect it's nothing more than that. The numbers show that out of more than 500,000 applicants for deferred action, more than three-quarters were accepted and just 1% denied. That's amazing. So just 1% of these 400,000 applicants were approved. They must all be perfect. You know, it's very interesting. I don't think less than 1% of the American citizen population is this perfect. Do you? Let me tell you what's going on here. They're barely being vetted. Barely being vetted. I mean, how can they be vetted? How would it work? You're here illegally? Yes. Do you have papers? Well, I guess you don't have papers. No, I don't. When were you born? Well, I guess it doesn't matter when you were born. That's right. Do you have a record? Well, I guess you don't have a record because you're not even supposed to be here. Correct? Correct. All right, you're in. How else would you do it? Meanwhile, the disintegration of our voting system continues apace because now it is a civil right, a human right, not to have a photo ID when you vote. Poor Pennsylvania. The state legislature passed and the governor signed a voter ID law, and they call it a strict voter ID. Well, what is a non-strict voter ID? You can have a photo, but it's not you? Oh, yes, okay, come on in. Anybody's photo? What's a strict photo ID? Is it one with your actual face on it? But this, again, is how the media writes this stuff. The Associated depressed Peter Jackson. A state judge on Friday barred enforcement of Pennsylvania's strict voter identification law in the November 5 general election. Now, full disclosure, Landmark Legal Foundation has been involved in this case, as we've been involved in other cases. The state also cannot require local elections officials to verbally tell voters at the polls that photo IDs could be required in future elections. You believe this? But officials can distribute written material about the law. Commonwealth Court Judge Bernard McGinley said, a Commonwealth Court judge. That's the lowest of the on the rung. Bernard McGinley, don't say anything, but you can hand them a document. Why? Well, it's voter intimidation. If you're talking about future elections and photo IDs, that may turn people off. What are you talking about? This judge's ruling marked the third consecutive election in which enforcement of the law has been blocked by court order. The constitutionality of the law is being all right, okay.